Hello, Attactioneers. Welcome to the Attack Action Podcast. I'm your host, Taylor Morrow. And you can see Hilda right there on my bed. Isn't that nice?
And I'm your host, the Calling Honigman, and I barely survived prom night.
I'm your host, Blake Meyer, and I've seen 3 movies in theaters, and the Bloodlines Final Destination was pretty sick.
And I'm Zane Johnson, and I conceded a game at 49 Life this weekend.
Let's go.
Here we have Zane complaining about the game from the jump again.
Just want to commend Blake for single-handedly saving the film industry.
My wife and I thought about going to see a movie on Sunday, and then we were like, no.
You haven't seen Friendship yet, or have you? It's so good.
I need Blake to tell me what movies to go see. That's what I need.
Yeah.
Should we start a movie minute with Blake segment where Blake just tells
let's
us
have it
about
be
a
the
good movie?
61st minute, so it breaks up the 2 hours exactly.
No, well, we can just
See
start
you in
a
another
timer.
55 minutes.
Skip ahead if you just want to hear about movies.
I mean, I finally saw Sinners. I think everyone else said how good it was. So I was like, I don't know why it took me forever to go. I went by myself. It was pretty fun. I think there was some moments in it where you're like, I'll remember that for a while, but I don't think it's a masterpiece. But that's great. It's a really good movie. I saw Friendship. If you like, I think you should leave. Friendship is basically 15 skits in a row with the same characters, and it's amazing. I feel like it'll be a new genre for comedy movies of like, hey, you remember that one? We can do one like that with all of our skits because we're a skit comedy show, and we could just do that as a movie. So look out for that. Paul Rudd's great.
25 seconds.
The one I just went to is Final Destination Bloodlines. If you've been like me and been around for culture for 25 years, Final Destination comes in and out of your life. When it was like literally 2000, right before 9/11, it wasn't after. It was kind of crazy. Like the planes are going to kill you. It brings everything back together. Final Destination Bloodlines is the best one.
And that's time. Great job, Blake. And that has been the Movie Minute with Blake Meyer. Ooh, it should be the Movie Minute with Mr. Meyer.
Oh,
Yeah.
Brought to you
maybe
by
if the school district ever fucking called me back. Those people are fucking awful with that. So
I mean,
fingers crossed.
Yep. I got
our education
my
system is struggling at the moment.
it's so fucked. School lunches might also be gone. So
What do people
That's
need
great.
lunch for?
Yeah. They can
Yeah,
eat
so-
the shit that we serve them. On
that's
social
what they're
media.
already doing, and then they won't have that shit. That's what's potentially happening. I got my final notice from my job. They said, we shall not hire you back. So
So they're just not going to have a sports program anymore?
I mean, they're just going to have sports, and then
And just
Who's gonna
nobody...
Generically
There's kids
sports.
running around in a field now.
I mean, my guess is our principal is going to just take on that duty with the 500 other things she has to do as a single admin at the high school. So that should be fun. I don't know. I feel bad for the school, and honest. But whatever. My therapist said she is very excited for me to get a new job that pays me more and asks less of me. I was like,
Are they giving
me
those
too.
out?
I mean, I hope so.
If you know where to look.
I need one of them.
Yeah, totally. Okay, what else is happening? What's the positive news? Positive news. I have a real life hunter's clave with me.
How much did that one cost?
I don't know actually anymore.
You traded a cold
I
foil.
traded a cold foil for a real one.
Which would you rather have? That or your cold foil?
Cold foil. Cold foil.
Okay. Yeah.
Cold foil. Easy call there.
Yeah, don't bring that one to Vegas.
That's true. Probably can't fly on the plane with this. What else is new in my life? I have an offer on the house. The house is for sale, so that's pretty exciting. Excited for that. I don't know if anybody on the podcast knows that's happening other than you three, but now people know. So that's excellent. I felt like I had a bunch of life updates, but I don't think I do. I think I have to save them all for our main topic. So somebody else tell me about their life.
Well, I just returned from the horror fest of a prom experience that I just did for work, and I'm very tired, but it's done now, and that's great. But we did I don't know if anyone's watched the Fear Street series from one R.L. Stein.
They did 3 in 1 year, and
Yeah,
this
they
is
did
the
3 in a
follow-up?
row. They have a new one coming out called Prom Night, and we did a immersive theater kind of scary experience down there at the Henry Fonda Theater in Hollywood, California. Side note, the 101 freeway, I think, is the worst freeway ever.
Maybe in
It's
LA.
bad.
Up here, it's wonderful.
Yeah, yeah. That's because up there it's a highway. Down here, it's like it's parading around like a freeway, and it took me 2 hours to get there, and it's like I think slightly closer than my actual job is in distance, and it was terrible. But it got better eventually. But after I don't know, a couple 3, 4, 5, 12-hour days, things were there, and it happened. They were beheading prom queens. There was chopped up cadavers stuffed in lockers. Some gags. A lot of air compressor shooting you in the face with air and scaring you, kind of things. And then creepy dudes chasing you down hallways. So it was fun in the way that I think maybe being in a war is fun.
I would call that 0 amounts of fun.
Well, it's like the bonds you make with your the band of brotherhood.
Oh, gotcha.
That is forged through the fire.
You could say that could be anything more positive, like a flesh and blood tournament.
No, there's a sense of trauma attached to it too. So we can't negate that because it's real. But yeah, it's just work's been crazy. I have done nothing but work the past couple weeks. I've been all over the place, and I'm on the other side of it now. Things are calming down, so very excited to figure out what day it is and know that I'm gonna be okay.
You are.
Yeah.
You're gonna be okay.
I'm feeling great here now. This is already the best thing that's happened lately. So
I've been looking forward to this since our last episode. So
hell yeah. Blake,
Zane,
how
what's-
are you? Oh.
Whoa. The guy below me gets to go before the guy below you.
Okay, he's in charge.
Gabagool.
Let's see.
Capricola.
Guy below. We've had better jokes.
That's true. It's not your finest, but I'll take it. Let's see. I got to play a ProQuest, only one of the season that I made. I realized this weekend that I graduated college 10 years ago, and that my LinkedIn photo was me at graduation, and that I should probably update that. So we got some pictures taken. Probably going to update that soon. So
Nice.
connect with me.
Congratulations.
On LinkedIn if you really want to see.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah, you'll see me with no beard if you look me up now. I guess.
Yeah, hit us all up on LinkedIn. That's like a cool place to connect with us too. Network a bit more.
Yeah, tell you about my 5 a.m. grind.
Yeah, totally. How many days you spend per day? your 6-hour days.
I live 6 days every day. My name's Beyonce. Anyway,
Let's
sorry,
see.
Continue.
That's kind of it personal wise. There's been some fab stuff, but we'll save that. We'll let Blake give a personal update unrelated to movies first.
Oh, this guy gets a movie minute and personal updates. How much are we giving this guy?
Well, on Thursday, my friend Jake, not Smoogly, but Jake McKay, he just became a flight attendant, so he's flying into LA all the time. And all the people that are between jobs or never going to work again are like, let's all hang out. And so I went and did Top Golf, and that was the first time in a long time, or maybe ever, where I really enjoyed the driving range for 2 hours. I was eating buffalo chicken dip that kind of helped. And it was like target practice, Top Golf or whatever. But there was one of the target chip things where I hit all 5 in a row, perfectly chipped where it needed to go. And I was like, maybe if I do practice and think through of what I'm going to do, good things will happen when I put all the applied stuff towards a goal. And I saw that in a small part of my life that I've never cared about or wanted to move forward. So I said, maybe this will help in other things in my life. And so far it hasn't.
But it will.
But it will. It's early.
But it will. You'll get paired up against Tao Tao in round 1 of the only pro quest you choose to play in a month.
Okay, I need context on your golf. Have you golfed 10 times, 3 times? Like what's our golf experience?
This is the second time I've been to Top Golf. There is a par 3 that I've walked around and hit balls as hard as I can. I did 18 holes maybe twice in my life. I'm always the 4th of the 4. People are dragging me around and they go, maybe you don't have to hit it all the way in. I've never been good. I've never beat somebody at all. Like maybe I've beat 1 or 2 holes of not being last place. But this is what happens in Frisbee golf as well, of like, I'm just making jokes and trying not to fall down the hills in Frisbee golf. I'm just making jokes and drinking beers in golf. And I had Dr. Pepper. I didn't even have a beer. I was like, is that what it is? Of like, the more you drink, you're like, oh, I can't focus. And there goes. And I didn't really, like, maybe my side hurt a little bit, but I drank 3 huge fucking Dr. Peppers. And I got buffalo chicken dip. I got a patty melt. I was just, the girl that was working, she was pretty funny because everyone was, this is the move. Actually, this is what my update is. Everyone was doing the whole like
edit everything before this.
Hey, we're at Top Golf. Everyone goes, can I get a Stella Artois? And she goes, can I see your ID? Even though we're all clearly over 35. So guy number 1 goes, can I get a Stella Artois? Oh, let me dig into my wallet. And she goes the other, I'm going to go last. And when you're a funny guy like me and you see a bit coming from a mile away, you're just relishing it the whole time, right? So then Jamie goes, I think, can I get like I think they got Bud Light or they got High Lifes. Can I get a High Life? And then Jake was like, oh, High Life sounds good. He hands his card, maybe small fumble. She looks at his card. It takes extra time because it's from Texas. So it's even more anticipation. And I hand her a card and she goes, what would you like? And I go, can I get a Dr. Pepper? And she midway looking through my ID of when my birthday is goes, and hands it back as fast as possible. And I was like, yeah, that's the kind of guy you're going to be around for the next 2 hours. Okay, buckle up. We're going to be doing bits all these times.
So you just had to get loose with a good bit before your golf.
Should I start doing bits before everything in my life?
Yes.
Is that not already the case?
Yeah.
Not butt naked with your next lover, and you're like, check out this mole on my back real quick. And they're like, what? And you're like, oh, just kidding.
Is his name
Love
Dr.
you.
Pepper?
A classic bit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty good. I'm horny now.
I'm getting a bit naked.
Hell yeah. Let's go. All right.
Wait, should I go to Hot Pot tomorrow? Somebody just texted me.
I mean,
You got a lot of time to think of a bit before hot pot.
Instead of an armory with all my other people. What time?
Let's talk about Flesh
with
and
your
Blood
local
now.
meta?
Wait, what?
All right. Taylor's
time.
wielding the clave.
Let's talk about Flesh and Blood. Okay.
Fine.
In superior podcast fashion, we get to podcast about the new banned and restricted announcement that just popped off today as of recording. And then when you hear this, it'll be 5 days later. So you'll see why our takes are the best and everybody else's are bad because they came out first. That's what I'm saying. All right. Banned and restricted happened. Shit is going down. Some shit happened to Blitz. Don't care.
Some shit happened to LL. Don't care about that either.
Okay. In Classic Constructed, Count Your Blessings, banned. Germinate, banned. Scepter of Pain, banned. Bonds of Ancestry, red, unbanned. Pretty sick, I guess. I don't know. They had some stuff to say. They said Scepter of Pain. It came out too early, so now it interacts with stuff they didn't predict, so maybe it's too good. And then they said, Germinate is pretty good if you're playing against another slow deck. And we have a special surprise coming in High Seas that makes Germinate way too good. So we're going to ban it. And then you're also going to get this other thing, which should be fun. And then they're like, Count Your Blessings. We love, but maybe it's bad like everybody said it was, and it's not fun. So I guess we're going to ban it because we also have to do too much work in the office to make sure it's not bad. And that's what the article said. Zane, your thoughts?
Yep, word for word. That's what it said. No, I actually quite like this ban list overall. I won't just like lean positive because there is things that I like was surprised not to see. We'll get there, but let's start with what's on the list, right? So Count Your Blessings is banned.
Great.
A lot of people had the feeling that this would happen. If you play CYB, you kind of had to know this was possible. Like every CYB game on stream at PTs and stuff is always kind of like met with eye rolls. The chat isn't happy about it. Even if the games are interesting, which sometimes they are, it's just like not what the game should be about. And I agree. So very happy to see it go. Scepter of Pain, I'm going to go out of order. Scepter of Pain, great. Get it out of here. Stupid card. Like clever, interesting at the beginning, the Coronet peak for Runeblade, whatever. It's fine, but it's outstayed its welcome. The way that it works with Florian is not interesting.
And the way it works with Millennium Tree is too good.
Exactly. Yeah. You just Millennium Tree, you get eight arcane basically up front, and then you get to bank 8 to 10 rune chance.
Yeah.
If they don't have 3 AB, which you don't know if you need 3 AB ahead of the game or not.
And it's well worth the extra cost of it being a channel. Like it's a 4-card hand, basically, to do it all in the same turn. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's still worth it because of what it does for your deck in that strategy, Yeah,
it's 3-block Earth card, just like all upside. You can set it up on turn 0. It's just like uninteractive gameplay. So happy to see it go. Germinate's surprising. It's very powerful. So I get why it's going, but I don't think I expected it at all. CYB and Scepter I fully expected, but
here's what I think the Germinate ban actually is. We needed a 3-block blue Earth card to not be around, but we didn't want to hit Verdance.
I do think that Verdance was there. I think Verdance was considered for sure. Like they didn't want to hit Verdance, in the crossfire because people have been super critical. Anytime a ninja gets hit in the crossfire, people freak out, even if it's stupid or like small percentages. Germinate is a bit oppressive ultimately, though, like to certain decks, especially when CYB is gone. When some decks' answer to Germinate was CYB, kind of like, okay, your Germinate's going to be huge, but I'm going to build up a buffer. So I think like with CYB gone, some decks just like truly cannot deal with Germinate. So it going is a little sad. It's like a very cool card.
Yeah.
Art is amazing.
Yeah. And isn't it his specialization too, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which has that ever happened? A specialization gets banned?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Pretty
Like
I mean,
in Blitz they banned Soul Reaping.
I mean,
It's kind
in
of-
Living Legend, you're like can only have one crippling. I don't know if that's going to count as a
Yeah.
thought process about that.
maybe. But anyway, I agree with Zane. It's a big, I think it's an identity piece for Florian. And that's unfortunate. It needs to go. But if the game's better, then it's fine.
Yeah, like it's an identity piece, but like I don't even think he needs it. Like, because what he does is so powerful. Like his hero text is very strong, and like
Mhm.
Germinate with his hero text was like obviously egregious, but like it didn't come up in every matchup, so it's not like it's this huge nerf. But it is blue Runeblade Earth, 3 block, which is all things that were very strong. And then Bonds of Ancestry Red is back. This is wild. I guess I'm happy for the Katsu players. I don't love this card.
Yeah. So
But yeah, kind of hard to imagine a card more powerful than Codex of Frailty coming out of the same set. But yeah, this card's messed up, but it will make Katsu playable, which is cool. I'm sure people are stoked for it though.
yeah, the ninja crowd. The one thing I will say that's interesting about this ban is I remember when Florian was spoiled or something, and LSS talked about either in a dev chat. I don't know why I said that so weird.
So hog.
Why you said
Dev
it so hawk?
Yeah, why I was so walk. Or in an article or something like that, and it was like, OTK Florian. Yes, there's an OTK Florian build out there. That they like knew you could OTK Florian, and then now it's getting nerfed. Just an interesting little I don't know anecdote to this whole story about this.
Totally.
Is that true?
I mean, yeah, it was called out in an early article, which a lot has changed since then. So like a lot of aggro has left
Yeah.
since then. And so he's gotten a lot more space to do his thing. So it's tricky. Were there any of these 4 that were like super surprising to any of you guys, or did you feel like kind of prepared for these, I guess?
For me, it was the Germinate for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, Blake.
I think we were doing a pick 3 that you think could happen, and my 3 that I chose was Scepter, CYB, and 3 of a Kind.
Mhm.
I think I'm more surprised that 3 of a Kind wasn't hit than I am surprised that any of these were. I think it is interesting that they're like, trust us. This red one you're going to be fine with Katsu. And you're like, okay, we don't, I honestly don't care if it's super strong, because at least Katsu is getting the point, like, is going to be the one. If they do a brand, like, Syndra's not going to be doing anything with this card. But Katsu, and I like having the thought process of, we need busted cards for the original 8 heroes to get out of here. This is Katsu's, let him cook, and like, oh wait, he's never going to get a mass trigger ever again because Shelter from the Storm is like gonna be breakpoints all over the place, or discard 1 when the Katsu does +1, and they're gonna be like, oh, why am I playing this hero? I just went on a tangent. CYB made sense, but I got top 8 with CYB, and it did seem like Vincent, if they want Vincent to be good, ban CYB, and then Vincent's and the other thing. Who do they care more about than anyone? Runeblade. So that makes sense. Vincent, let's move you forward, and you're going to be really good now because an unbeatable strategy against you is gone. I'm expecting Vincent to be a big winner. Of Florian took a hit and CYB's gone. Like, Vincent looks great right now. Before all these arrows come from Marlin.
Colin, your thoughts and feelings.
I feel great. I never had to play against CYB, I think, in my whole life. So I kind of missed the thing. I thought it was gross.
I can drive over right now.
I thought it was pretty gross when they printed it. It was just it felt bad as a generic, and it seemed very obvious that it would have this kind of effect. I guess it's good they thought that too, and then we're like, well, let's see if it's right, and then it was right, and then they decided to kind of didn't they banned one of them.
They banned
Blues.
blue after Worlds.
Blue. Okay, yeah. So I mean, I think it's just not super interesting. It's just kind of like, oh, let's just cram these, 6 to 9 cards in any deck, and does it immediately make it like, not. I think the thing I like it, and maybe it's just like a semantic distinction, is, or why I don't like it, is like it doesn't make your deck better. It just makes it harder to beat, but not in a like proactive way. It feels like, like it's a fighting game, and you're just fucking around, like playing your own mini game of like, well, you can't kill me, so I'm gonna win the game. Like, and it just that feels out of sync with the game itself. So I'm glad it's gone. The other Florian stuff I don't really know much about. So I don't have an opinion, but good for Katsu. I hope y'all are happy now.
Also, Storm Striders in Blitz, I just saw, is banned for the second time, third
I
time,
was gonna say, wasn't that already banned?
fifth time.
Second time, I think. It's a delicate thing. It's better without it, but yeah, especially with a 6 power arcane spell coming.
So a number of things in the Living Legend format are banned. Carrion Husk, Crown of Seeds, Cull is restricted, Dirge is restricted, Succumb to Temptation is restricted. I don't know how to read. I don't know. And Hypothermia is unrestricted.
That is
Interesting.
not where I thought you were going to go at all with this. I thought you were going to talk about the LL points and how they're distributed, but you're talking about the LL format.
That's correct. First, very quickly.
So Icelander's back.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of this.
Yep.
Which it did. The one LL tournament I played, I put my Icelander back. I re-sleeved it. Was so excited. Got owned so bad that day. I was like, I will never play LL again. And like maybe this is the way. Like 3 hypothermias does stop 5 from just running you over. Like,
Pretty
okay,
sick.
maybe this will work.
Yeah. I love it that Cull is restricted. It was pretty insane to give Chain that card to just banish off of the top and sit there for the whole game and be like, got you, And they say it in the article, the best disruptive deck, the best aggro deck, the best anti-fatigue deck, It's just his hero power is like too good. So you gotta fucking do shit to him. Same with Starvo. That's why we gotta get rid of Crown of Seeds. Too good. This is my whole thought. Or 1 second. This is my whole thought about Living Legend. Is they, I think, are holding on to the all of the heroes too much. In that we know that this format is revolving around 2 heroes a lot of the time, and we should just get rid of them. You know what I mean? Let's just ban them out of the game, period.
No Starvo ever. No
It's too soon.
Chain
It's too
ever.
soon.
Potentially.
I think
I think that's a good take. Too soon.
Yeah, I think both heroes are too interesting to eliminate immediately. Like Starvo, okay, maybe not the most interesting deck ever, but like I also don't think it's oppressive when it's properly restricted like this. Like, I mean, I don't know. They've obviously hit a lot of stuff in Starvo and Crown of Seeds. Okay, what I was gonna say when I interrupted you, I didn't mean to, but
That's all right.
these changes are huge. Like Crown of Seeds is like a third of Starvo's hero text. Like the implied value of like, oh, I can just find the 3rd element once or twice a game by Crown of Seedsing. Oh, and by the way, I get value from it because it blocks damage for whatever reason.
And you're doing it off Tunic.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
like that was like a big part of what made his hero text work. So not only is this like, oh, we don't want people fatiguing each other with Crown of Seeds. Like, no, that's gonna like lower Starvo fuse consistency like a lot. So I don't know. These changes are massive, and I think that they'll be interesting to see play out. Starvo will not be the same deck without it. Obviously, Oldhim won't either, but maybe that's okay. And like Chain's still super good. Icelander's still super good. Lexi maybe gets room now with Husk gone and Crown of Seeds gone. Like, I don't know. I think the format's maybe in a good place. Like, I'd have to play it and see, but
yeah. I think that's pretty good.
Maybe you'll get to play it in Philadelphia at the World Championship.
Living Legend is a format at Worlds.
I think it's better than Blitz.
I agree.
it is.
I agree. They're going to
do the Tri-Wizard format again.
Yeah.
But Trevor Baker on Twitter.com
Who the hell is that?
He's the guy from
he's
Portland.
an LSS employee, right? Or no?
Yeah, he sets up the...
we love you, Trevor, and don't listen to Colin.
He sets up... he's from Portland.
I remember Trevor. We worked with him. Yeah, I'm just joking.
Oh, okay. Great.
It was a bit.
Oh, shit. My bad.
Shit. Fuck. Damn it.
It's funny. Don't worry.
Your life will be better now because you started this with a bit. Is what we learned earlier.
Sorry, what did he say on Twitter?
Anyway, what do you say on Twitter?
Oh, that's me again. He said someone was like, oh, preparing 3 decks or preparing for 3 formats really sucks. And Trevor Baker said, who said it was going to be 3? Which that makes you think CC and LL are the 2. Maybe the set in the fall sucks so bad they don't want us to draft it.
Top 8 is the only draft. So you get there with CC and LL, and then the world champion is determined just by one draft.
I would literally stop watching.
No way. I would be so fucking hyped on that.
If they could record all 8 of them drafting at once, they'll never do this, but that would be so hype.
It would be so sick.
They need those tables at the World Championship of Poker where they can put their card down and you have the camera underneath it.
They also can do it extra long time for commentating. You know what I mean? They don't have to do it 60 seconds, 30 seconds, 10 seconds,
just
right?
Painstakingly long.
A little long. So you could be oh, and then Zane Johnson has this card. And then if we pan over here to Blake Movie Meyer, oh, he has this. Is he going to pick that? You know what I mean? It could be
Mr. Blake Movie Meyer.
Okay, sorry. You know, that could be kind of sick. Maybe kind of long and maybe too tedious and nerdy. But
yeah, my mind went the other way. It was so they're gonna have 4 formats. That's what World.
Oh, that's what I thought too. Yeah. 2 separate drafts.
Oh my gosh.
You have to do high seas and whatever this bad set coming out later.
Should we just start the LSS told me
I heard
next to the
the
trash can
bad.
Yeah.
That's why.
Oh no,
so stoked
it's
on high
Smash
seas.
Palace, High Seas.
Living
Legend and
crack, shuffle and play.
Smash Palace top 8.
Guardian Mastery
Crazy.
Packs. Here's your 3 packs.
The event deck.
I am without a job, so hire me, LSS, for these golden ideas.
Let them in.
Okay, so my other little thought here about Living Legend format, and they mentioned in the article that the next ProQuest is going to be featured Living Legend. I think they need to force us to play LL because it's not played at Armory, and nobody's popping off enough. Not enough stores are popping off to be tonight is Flesh and Blood Draft, and tomorrow's CC, and then on Saturday we play Living Legend. You know what I mean? Where you get to play all the formats all the time. The game's not that big, so they need if ProQuest is gonna. I don't want it to feature LL. I want it to be LL. because we need they need data, A, on how the format is, and B, we need to be forced to play it so we can be like, this format's rad, or whatever. Like I would be, if you forced me to play LL, I would do it. And I would be happy to. Just gonna say,
That's a good take. I agree wholeheartedly.
Wow. This side of the podcast, we're aligned, baby. Top and
I
bottom.
have no notes.
I'm just saying.
Here's my thing, and this I think will be a theme. So I won't do the whole thing. I'll just be like, remember this from last time. As a person who has played a long time, I'm not excited about LL, even though I could use some older cards. These are all decks that have beaten my ass to a bloody pulp over and over again. I'm glad when things LL. I have never been, damn, I wish I could have played that deck more. LL feels great to me. Of that deck does feel like it has won enough tournaments and been oppressive enough at a local level, a something level, and sometimes they don't win the highest things, but Dromai was annoying, and people are like, I can't wait for Dromai to come back. Well, I can, and I want to have a space where I don't have to worry about Dromai for Worlds, because that's a whole nother axis I have to learn to play against with my current deck. But if my current deck isn't good in a Dromai, and Dromai's a top 2 pick for LL for Worlds, I don't get to play the deck that I have prepared. That would frustrate me as a pro player. I know pro players probably get frustrated by everything. I'm not a pro player. I'm fighting for the Armory days. If my local said it's a Living Legend Tuesday, I'll go, all right, I'm going to go eat hot pot. See you guys on Thursday.
I mean, that's not that bad. Hot pot's pretty good.
That's a easy choice.
But the 3 hypothermias doesn't make you want to play Icelander?
It does. Very much.
Is it still
What?
Bolander though?
Yeah.
No.
I don't know. You can play all spells. Who gives a fuck? It's LL. You want to win the tournament or have fun? You can do
That's
either.
the thing. I don't really get what LL is trying to achieve as a format. It kind of felt like it was supposed to be like the fun, like crazy format, and then now they're trying to make it like just a
CC plus.
new game. Yeah, new game plus CC style. But like that's fine. I don't know. I haven't played it either. I don't think they can force me to play it because that just means I have to find and build another deck.
No way. You have OG Prism still put together.
Well, basically, yeah. I take all those Figment cards out though.
There's only 8. It's easy.
I gotta find Soraya and put her back in because that's gotta be busted.
See?
All right,
The
I'm
wheels are
in.
turning.
I'm
And
in.
you
We're
got
going
it.
back.
You got a new
I got
a new Herald for the first time in 4 years.
Dude, this Herald doesn't even care if it's doing what it's supposed to do. It just
The
goes.
best Bolton card ever printed.
Dude,
Yeah.
let's go. We're back. We're playing Prism and Living Legend. I don't know why I haven't been already. Well, because they don't play it anywhere that I go to. So.
See, exactly.
Yet.
That's the whole thing. We must be forced to play Living Legend. Force it upon us.
So do I need to bling out 2 Prism decks so I can have them both ready to go?
Yes.
They're like 80% the same.
Yeah.
That's good. But I have to buy duplicates of all the cards now.
Oh,
Have to or
I
get
mean,
to.
if you insist.
I
Then
get
yeah.
it, yeah.
Yeah, if you insist.
I'm making smart financial decisions. Let's just leave it at that.
Speaking of smart financial decisions, there's a change to the Living Legend point system that I'm just going to say feels pretty wackadoo. I don't understand why they came up with this. But I mean, I can understand it, but I'm like, there's a lot of people at your office. Why aren't we coming up with a better idea? But what's going to happen is, with the help of lots of bands, they're going to say during the first year of legality, a hero's earned Living Legend points will be halved. So if Mr. Blake Movie Meyer here earns 100 points, that will be halved to 50.
50.
Then
50.
during the second year of legality, a hero's earned living legend points will have no multiplier. So if Mr. Blake Movie Meyer earns another 100 points, he will get to keep all 100 and have 150. In all other years of legality, a hero's earned living legend points will be multiplied by 1.5. Now, those of you at home, if Mr. Blake Movie Meyer earns 100 points times 1.5, how many points does he then earn?
150.
And that gives him a grand total of
300.
That's correct. There we go. We did math. So you still didn't even LL. Great job.
Zane, how do you feel about this?
No, go. Everyone be negative. Go ahead. I'll go last.
I just think this sounds complicated. And yeah, I don't know. It sounds like they've made a lot more work.
How's this easier to explain than a ban on a card for one hero in the past? Because that was, hey, Azalea can't have bullseye bracers because it would be hard to explain. But now I gotta fucking explain this shit to somebody.
You don't need to explain this. Nobody needs to be explained this, for the record. Understanding this does nothing for you.
That is true. I do think, I don't know. To me, it's like, it's just kind of shifting the problem somewhere else. It doesn't feel like it actually solved anything. They're just like, oh, so we'll just give ourselves more time to ban things.
Kind of. No, okay.
And then we can just stop caring after 2 years.
Zane, before you say anything positive, let me dump some negative. Okay, ready?
All right, go ahead.
I don't know if that was negative. I'm just saying whatever. Go Blake, go. Go Blake, go.
Alan Lube, love him. He's great. He's got
friend
his own,
of the show.
Follow his YouTube. He went and here's all the hunted points for all 3 sets or whatever.
All of the what? Excuse me?
Hunted or we're in the format of hunted currently.
Hunted season.
Junted is what you meant to say. Sorry, pardon me. We have a brand.
So in the past year, let's not even talk about Junted anymore. Enigma, Zen, Aurora have all gotten their 1,000 points in the last year. So under this new thing, none of them would be LL. None of them would be even close. Some of them would be around 500. Yes, they would have been getting more of this thing. But let's go ahead and say they get another big batch. Maybe they would have been at 800 total after all this. They would still be around. What's crazy about this, of being a franchise player that has played this game for 4 years at this point, I'm getting double negative whammied by this, and I'm not really great about it, because what I have been sold on and been sticking around for is when Dory gets a busted card, when Reinar gets a busted card, when Bravo comes back around. I'm going to be super excited to play those. But now those heroes are going to LL at a faster rate just because they're older. And that's something where, like, okay, I've been waiting around for 4 years for this card, and I'm going to get to use it for about a month of playtime instead of that full 2 months, 3, or whatever it would have been. And now, if we do make the busted ass cards, which when you look at what Alan Luber posted, there's so many points given to decks heroes from the last year where you're like, damn, it's 77% of the living legend points of hunted. That's crazy. Junted. Gosh, sorry. So in my mind, whenever we make a busted hero, they're going to be around longer. And earlier I said, I love when heroes are LLing. I was not, damn, I wish there was another 3 months of Aurora. Damn, I wish there was another 3 months of Zen. I was ready for him to go. Enigma was a huge pain in the ass. There's a couple that, yes, some of these have done a long winding road of Viscerai. Viscerai was we knew he was going to LL, but it wasn't, thank God, because he had a bunch of points earlier and then he got a whole bunch of points at the end. But what I'm trying to say right now is, whenever they did this for Blitz Zen, decreased his points by half, which is literally what they're doing next year for every hero, maybe starting with High Seas. I don't know if that's when it's starting. We're going to decrease their points by half in the first time of this. That was terrifying of like, I just got done. I thought Zen LL'd. I'm so excited to play Blitz. They announced actually he's going to be legal again. And I was like, I'm not going to play Blitz for this time period because they only did it for Zen and he was a huge pain in the ass. So who are we catering to? It feels like we're catering to brand new players. That makes sense because we want our player base to grow. We're catering to pro players of like, you get to take a very expensive deck to more tournaments. When you go traveling, you don't have to buy a whole brand new deck. It feels like the people in the middle are kind of like getting blasted from all ends because I'm a middleman person. And it's like, I'm not a new player that's excited to play this, and I'm not a pro player that needs to play this. I'm excited for my rogue deck to get experience. And now when that happens, it's going to go twice as fast or 1.5 times as fast. That's that. Okay, bye.
Okay, my thing before Zane goes is there's a lot to respond to also, Blake. That's fine. I thought they changed the Living Legend system to where it's a percentage based upon the amount of points given in that season, not for every win. Was that not a thing? Was that a fucking fever dream that never came about, or what?
They have and they haven't, and they have and they haven't, right?
They explain it in the article. They're changing it regardless, but yeah, it is a percentage. So it's currently a percentage, and it will change to a new system that's also a percentage, but just done in Gem now.
Huh. Okay. I guess I missed all of that. And so the percentage, because of how popular Aurora was, did not matter. That even though there's 1,000 Living Legend points and Aurora got, won so many things that she got 55% of that share. Is that what happened?
Kind of. The reason for the percentage is just that like they estimate that there will be, let's call it 200 PQs, but then 15 stores may actually decline them or not be able to get a judge, and then those don't happen. And instead of giving out 462 or whatever LL points, they just have it adjust to the number they said they were going to give out.
That doesn't make sense because then all of the results will come in, right? So they'll say there's 200 stores, but then actually it's only 190 stores. And then they have all of that gym data of how many those were. And then
but they say ahead of the season how many points are going to be given out. It's again, we're splitting hairs on something that's like not that important, but
well, why does it matter if
that's what podcasts are all about, baby? That's why they got made by a caveman.
Yeah, totally.
They were like, I like green plant, and the other dude was like, I like blue plant, and it's like, bro, we just got to eat food where we can get it. This isn't fucking Albertsons.
So then, what does it matter if they know before or after? It seems like they should know after if they know there's going to be an error in.
They do know after, but the problem is they've committed to a certain number of points ahead of the season.
I mean, they
don't understand
hand wave
this.
Everything else. Why can't they hand wave this shit?
I don't understand why they've committed to, because why don't they just then adjust post season?
They could, and that's not what they're doing.
Okay, cool. That's all we're there for. All right, perfect. Zane, continue.
Continue or begin?
Begin.
Wow. Were you silent or were you silenced?
Okay. I think that this is like kind of a nothing burger, honestly. I think that this is like not that big a deal. Blake is eating chips if you're listening on Spotify. It's good content, actually.
I'm on mute.
Okay, this is literally just to prevent the Aurora thing. But that's all it is. It's like not that complicated. Like the 1.5 multiplier doesn't matter. Like it doesn't. It's not going to come up. Like Rhinar will probably never LL. You know what I mean? Like the modifier for 1.5 does nothing. Like Azalea's close. She's going to go soon anyway. Bravo's close. He's going to go soon anyway. The modifier doesn't change that. The second year where there's no modifier, great. Whatever. No changes. The first year the points are halved. This is just to account for Aurora. they have a big name Magic player come over, Andrea Mengucci. He picks up Aurora, and now he's sad on Twitter talking to all his followers that Aurora LL'd in 5 minutes. And like, that's bad. You don't want that. So like, give them time to like fix the heroes to the power they should be. Zen probably never should have had needles. Zen probably never should have had Bonds of Ancestry. But if the points are halved, by the time they fix it, he's not at like 800 or 900. He's at 400, and then you can get a proper power level hero with a ban.
I mean, like, I get that. You
It's
know?
like people were asking for rotation. Like people were like earnestly being like, I just wish it would rotate. Like instead of LL. And like that's just wrong. Like LL is like such an interesting system. And this is just a way of them saying, look, Aurora's not going to LL in 5 minutes anymore. It'll be 10 minutes. You know, like
yeah, I guess. I think my thing is I dislike bans more. You know what I mean? Like
LLs are bans though, like functionally.
Yeah, totally. But it's cleaner in my opinion, rather than like, I don't know. This is just my opinion. I have a heart, or I just dislike when they're like, okay, this card is now illegal, and so is this card. And then we have the like, yeah, but what about Katsu? And they're like, sorry. You know what I mean? It just means we're going to have more of those moments. Well, it doesn't mean that. Who knows how this is actually going to play out? That's just the worst case scenario for me personally, in my mind.
Like I wanted these moments. I wanted Entwine Lightning banned. I wanted Flicker Wisp banned. I wanted cards that made Aurora the proper power level. We all knew she was a little too much. Yeah. Like that wasn't a secret. And we all knew Enigma was a little too much. Little bans to bring them back where they should have been and to keep those players like with their hero for longer, I think is a good thing. And like, you can be smart about how you ban stuff that doesn't hit other heroes. Sometimes it's gonna, Bonds of Ancestry, but like maybe it should have. Like Pouncing Link's Bonds of Ancestry Katsu was also pretty problematic. It's just that Zen was more problematic. So it's not like, oh, Zen got hit in the crossfire or Katsu got hit in the crossfire. It's like, no, Katsu was like also broken. It's just that Zen was more broken. So like, let's just remove this card that's obviously the problem. So I don't know. Ultimately, I think this is like not that big of an impact. It's like just better player experience. It's like, hey, you're going to have your deck for a little bit longer. And that's it.
Okay.
Fair. Good.
There's one more, maybe two more thoughts. It is interesting. There's some people on Twitter that I kind of agree with. I don't want to say this name, but it was like, why would I play not a meta deck from now on? Of like, it's something too of like, what's wrong with what Aurora happened? Like, why is what Aurora happened wrong? And we don't want the Armory deck to only be out for 2 months. And it's like, why are we not doing the bans this past time? And now this is a thing that everyone is going to have a negative from, of like, if Gravy Bones is a huge pain in the ass and wins every tournament, he's going to be around for 1,500 LL points. Or is that how that works? 2,000 LL points. Sorry about that. If somebody makes 2,000 points or gets to 1,000 in their first year, that'll be the strongest deck in Fab history, or the longest played one of that. And I know we're probably shooting for 12 to 18 months of you can play your deck that long. But I think that's something where, why did we just not ban Flicker Wisp? We wouldn't have had to do all this song and dance. And now there's just going to be different problems. And they said, we're going to more aggressively ban. And they said, there's going to be a huge shakeup. And it's like, well, what was the huge shakeup? For LL, that made sense. But for CC, were these bans a huge shakeup of like, are they expecting Katsu to be like, guess what? It's Katsu's music at Vegas, or I don't know.
They hit the top two heroes. Like, so like Aurora's gone, right? So the top two heroes have been Florian and New. and Florian loses a huge tool. And
That's not a huge shakeup in my mind. That's just what you're supposed to do with a ban. Like,
sure. And then CYB, like nobody was using CYB better than New, and it wasn't even particularly close as far as like wins. Like New, like Colin, you mentioned earlier about like CYB is just like delaying the game. You can't use it proactively. New could. That was like the thing that made New so good at CYB, and why I actually fully got on board with getting rid of it was like she weaponized CYB. Like she made it offensive, because when she holds 4 cards and bonds as you have to assume there's something. But then she can just like gain life. Like, and
that's
so
how I
don't
use
know.
it in Dory as well. So yeah,
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, it is really strong in Dory. It's just Dory wasn't converting it for wins. Whereas like Florian and New were winning half the events, and then they just took a serious card out of both of their kits.
Fair enough, Zane. Good takes all around. I agree with you. Zane, you win this round. Ding, ding. 1 point to the pro players on this side of
0.5 points, actually.
Oh, Has Zane been on a podcast for a whole year, actually? Is this a no multiplier?
Certainly have been for a whole year.
We're going to have to go to the books and find out.
Zane's like, it's been 394 days and I hated every single one.
If anyone knew how many days it would be Blake, Mr. Day Counter.
He's the numbers guy. Great. All right. Well, Living Legend, it's perfect. No notes.
Love it.
Easy. Everything's
Easy.
great.
They don't need a ban itself.
The game
All
would be
right.
better off if Aurora was still around and a better power level. That's all.
All right. So the only thing I'll say, I liked what Taylor said, is that it just feels like this is just them being like, well, we're just going to ban more things, and it's just they're slow at banning, so this just gives them more time to ban more things. But then it's also like, well, why didn't they just ban the things that were obviously there? So like I get both of those, but I also get that it in the end kind of doesn't matter, and they'll do whatever they want because it's their game, and we are just going to keep playing it so long as it's not always busted. So
I think that's a great analogy too, of like, if you're a player that can't do certain, like I want to play more defensive decks because I know how to block well. I'm gonna play defense and control decks. Aggro decks don't work for me. LSS as a company sucks at banning, so they need another thing behind them to work with them, of like, even though we suck at banning, we have more time. Like that makes sense, of like, play to your strengths, solve your weaknesses. Maybe this will solve their weakness of the LL by giving them more time to do stuff. Great.
leave no weaknesses, and let's
Hey,
move on to our main topic. I thought it would be interesting if we kind of just chatted about like the real part of this game. There's a lot, we talk a lot about big tournaments and pro players and bans and living legend systems. But like the way most of us experience this game is by going to whatever random store in our area decided to pick up this game and do events, and whatever other random people happen to live there and go to those events on the same days. And that is our, another way of describing what a local meta is. And yeah, I just thought it'd be interesting, like, because that's different for everybody. I think there's like trends in people's communities, there's trends in regions, there are kind of influential people in these areas who may or may not kind of drive people to play or not play certain heroes, and you kind of have to build your decks to that specific set of people, which is kind of like a microcosm of like the larger full game meta, which takes on its own kind of look and feel. But yeah, so I thought it would just be kind of like fun to go into that and see how you guys think about that, how you approach it, who who's in there, what are the personalities, heroes and players wise, and all that kind of stuff. And since I'm still semi hiatus of going regularly to a local meta, I'm just going to ask questions and you guys are going to talk about it.
Perfect.
How's that sound?
Sounds great.
Connor, are you outsourcing again?
Yes, I am. The plan, I went to Armory and then just life, it's been hard to get back out. So I'm hoping, this summer is a good time for playing some Flesh and Blood. So that's my goal. So this is really just me getting ready, so I'm just taking notes and
scouting.
Figuring out who I need to beat, which is, usually I'm going 03, but that's fine. We're gonna learn and discuss.
Yeah, I go 03 plenty of times.
Let's go. Everybody does. We all do it. Some of us shake it off better, and those people are,
On the left side
of the screen. Yes, that's correct. All right. So yeah, I thought, we're all in California, if you all didn't know by both our accents, attitudes, and political beliefs. But, we're in very different portions. Zane is in the true southernest California. Blake and I are in the upper Southern California, and Taylor is of the true north. So it's very different for all of us, I think. And let's just jump in. First question is, what does your local meta look like? What's it comprised of? As far as not what people are playing for, or not what people are playing and who you're playing, but kind of personality, larger, high level trends of what your meta is kind of shaped by.
Gosh, I'll go first just because I won the dice roll and that's what I'm choosing. So we have 2 knights and they're kind of slightly different. One is a little less popular, so we don't get as many people, but one is a bit more popular, and that's more with new players. So there's always for me, our everything is so small, right? One day we have 5, the other one we have 8. And if it was going to be a really big night, we might have 10 or 12, if a bunch of people showed up. So it's basically boils down to there's 5 of us who are always there basically. And out of those 5, 3 of them are most likely to play the same deck week in and week out, and the other 2 are wild cards and will do anything. So you have to prepare for that. So for example, I'm just gonna use names. I'm gonna call these fuckers out because they don't listen anymore. I'm like, hey, did you listen to the last episode? And they're like, no, sorry, I'm busy. I'm like, are we even friends? So Levi is probably the most egregious at this. He will show up with, he'll say shit like, oh, I'm going to play this hero as much as I can, which is new currently with CYB. And I believe that 0%, because he will just all of a sudden show up and not have his cards. And so he'll have to fucking cobble something together. Or he somehow talked to Patrick, who is also
is a freaking bad guy too.
And Patrick will be like, oh yeah, I'm bringing this deck. And then Levi will somehow have in his bag the counter pick to that and just play that for the day, So Levi is not a meta chaser, but he for sure is he wants to win Armory.
Yeah. There has to be people there to be a meta chaser, right?
And then Patrick definitely will play a deck for 3 or 4 times in a row and then just switches. Like, so he was playing Florian for a while, which it was like, great. I got stuff tuned. I'm ready for Florian. And now he's playing Phi. And it's like, because of how small our armories are, like I can't just not prepare, because it's like, oh, I'm just going to play you round 1, 2, or 3. Like I'm pretty much guaranteed to play one of them, so you have to like be prepared. And so as a person myself, who's like, I'm basically playing Marionette, but recently have been on the Verdance train, hashtag loyal to the soil, which Verdance is so fun. I love just freaking wizard comboing you and killing you. So great. Killed other local on Fang August, and killed him Xaxes for 18 arcane damage and didn't die. I didn't, which was great. So I love that. But anyway, so it's like those two are wild cards, and because I'm competitive, I get annoyed that I'm like, I don't have enough time to like rebuild decks all of the time and bring all of these different things. And part of my personality is like, I would like to master this one thing, and then you may change your hero, And then the other people are new players. So there's a lot of like, them borrowing decks and teaching them the game and that sort of thing. So it oscillates between like good friends trying very hard to good friends who we're having a very casual, fun time with, So that's kind of what's going on. And it's great we have 2 days for such a small area. I love that. So I've been having a great time. Okay, this is my other thing. This is how I've changed, because I was thinking of this, and this is long here, but because me personally, I only basically play one deck, and that I would play more, but I just have less time to like deck build and do all of that fun stuff. I'd rather just iterate on one. I've decided that if it is a bad matchup, I will concede, and I will now be bringing Bento Box with me, and we will just play that instead. So if you don't know, listen to past episodes with OKNY. You can go check out their OKNY podcast channel. Bento Box is a 2-player like draft box for Ninja, and you just get to do a 2-player draft of Ninja cards and then play. And so if I have to play CYB new as Verdance, which I don't have to anymore, I would just concede and then play Bento Box with Levi, which would be a way better experience rather than slogging through a game I know is basically unwinnable. And now things are on a more even playing field. So that's my new armory strategy: is this matchup sucks, I would like to drop and let's play this. Or concede. I mean, that makes sense? Thoughts, questions?
I like how Levi either has no deck or he has every deck in his bag, and he's like, "Oh, you're gonna play that? I'll play this to counter you right now."
he's a sweaty tryhard. Even though he says he's not doing a sweaty tryhard stuff, he totally is.
He came and sweaty tried harded down here, the Los Angeles region.
I think he top 8'd. Did he top 8?
Fucking like top 8'd like a champ. It's like
four
19
venomous
years old.
bites. I hear
Game
there were
lost.
4 venomous bites in the deck.
Yeah.
Oh,
See, exactly. His chaotic nature got him.
yeah.
He got bit.
Do you think people ever bring a deck to the armory to make you play Bento Box instead of the actual thing?
No. Not yet, anyway.
People are going to want to play Bento Box and just bring the deck that you can't beat.
That would be sick. Bento Box is fun as shit. So it's a nice breakup to kind of.
But what if you're playing in nationals and you get matched up into or your Verdance, and you get matched up in a new, and it's a 1 in 100 shot that you need practice to get that thing, or are you just going to concede at nationals?
I would probably play it out at nationals.
They don't have CYB now. We're good.
Yeah, we're fine. They're dead.
Okay, King. Pop off.
Pop off.
I will,
All right.
critically.
Who wants to go next? Blake. Blake wants to go next. He goes
Okay,
to
so-
multiple. I feel like you're in like some micro regions metas because you go to a lot of different stores.
In LA, there's I would say Orange County, which I never go to because it takes too long to get there. So those people stick over there in Kingslayer land. I don't even go to their ProQuest because I don't want to drive that far. There's Top Deck Keep. There's Collector Legion. Those are all places I've gone to in the past. Collector Legion is the only one I went to all the time when this game was first coming out, and I was grinding for Nats that I got an invite to that I never went to. But I go to Odyssey on Tuesdays and Wildcard Cyclone on Thursdays. Odyssey on Tuesdays has 20 people, which is a very interesting, like, you're going to be playing all kinds of different people until Gem ID gives you the same, like, 3. And then you kind of know, oh, these are going to be the 2-0s after 2 rounds. And you play, you're always playing the playoff people on round 3 and 4 of, like, there's some people I still haven't played in like 3 months because maybe they lose a game early and I'm winning a game early. So we're just not in the same bracket for the whole rest of the time. And then Wildcard Cyclone is like 8 to 10 and it's way more chill because it's less things, but it's more money. And when you win, you get packs, way more packs because it's like, okay, damn, this is actually interesting. And maybe saying this into microphone's bad, but when somebody comes and spikes Wildcard Cyclone and takes your, this was where I was going to get packs. You're like, oh, crap. But I've opened up, I got a rainbow foil weakest link. But like, I think Odyssey did become super sweaty recently. And I think we have on here like meta chasers, is it specialists, fake pro teams? And like, I think that's something that all exist at Odyssey of like, here's, basically everyone has like 2 decks they're really good at, and then maybe there's one they're trying out, or like I heard this was really good, or I think even you guys can figure this out of like I've been really into Warrior and I've played both Aurora and Florian over the last 4 months, but I stopped playing Aurora and I switched to Florian because I wanted to beat Colin, and I found out that like a 4 damage rune chant from trees could kill Kasai, and there would be nothing that Kasai could do. And then Kasai didn't show up the whole time. And you're like, okay, well, and I'm saying that into a microphone. I don't know if anybody knew that, but it's like, there's people that I'm like looking at the armor and it's like, I don't want to lose to you. I don't look at their deck and then see, but there's Enigmas that were beating my ass on Florian that I didn't like losing. I don't like losing to Enigma, but I like playing Florian so much that I was down to take the auto loss. But then when that happened with Verdance, I was trying to make Verdance work. I really liked playing a wizard again, but losing to Enigma with that was so annoying of like, I don't enjoy Verdance enough to take the auto loss to Enigma there. So I stopped playing her. But like now the CYB Dory was really good at beating Vincent. I hate losing to Vincent because it's another like, I'm going to just pick a card from your hand and discard it. You're like, nah, bitch. I pitched all the rune chants and I'm blocking out all the physical and you're going to die. And CYB is probably a crutch. Now I'll be limping around. But I think it is a thing of, oh, these people are team AJE and they're trying to get some reps on Fang. And you're like, cool. That's good for you guys. Whether they go 4-0, 3-1, 2-2, 1-1-3, you're like, great. Sometimes it's annoying because you're like, I'm sitting there about to play. I 4-0'd last Tuesday. So I won an armory. And I took all that momentum and faced Tao Tao in round 1 of the PQ. So it was like, okay, that went nowhere. But it was like somebody was coming in from a different part of town with somebody else. And it was an Ira who had never played against Kasai. And they were like, what do I do? And someone was coaching the Ira player on don't let Blake get this and this. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, people are what the heck, man? Can't we just all get along and play a game with our current knowledge? And whenever I did beat him, it was like, defend Odyssey, because those guys don't consider themselves Odyssey people. And then, oh wait, the ever-present shit in the background is Evan is at Odyssey. So it's like, are you going to be playing Evan in round 1, 2, 3, or 4? And that'll kind of dictate your day. Of days where I'm playing Evan in round 1, you're like, well, not winning this armory. But now armories, there's no reason to win because there's not only the winner gets the cold foil. So that has been a kind of like, there's no stakes at an armory level really anymore, except for on Thursdays where you're paying more money and you get a bunch of packs for winning because we put all the money towards prizing. So, but the days where you're playing Evan in round 3 or 4, you're like, okay, at least I got a couple wins, got some thought process. And then it is like when I played Kasai into Evan the first time and was like one bad decision away from beating him, it was like, bro, you've been on this deck for months, dude, and you almost lost to me on my first day playing Kasai. Like, I think that's where the storylines can come in of like where you do have fun with this game, where you do build friendships, build rivalries, all happen on like Tuesday, Thursday. It's like, and then I like yelled at somebody because I was mad or whatever. That's not good. And it's like, okay, sorry, I was really stressed out. I got a lot of stuff going on or whatever. But I think those are the people that like, I do want a spoiler card to come out on a Tuesday at 8 p.m. because that's when my armory is. And that's way cooler than like, I watched all of them get spoiled by myself on a Friday and everybody else was at work. I could have been anywhere, but the spoilers get announced on Friday and it's like, I'm not showing him my phone like, oh my God, like I have been for Tales of Aria spoilers. I remember exactly where I was when Briar wasn't a shaman. She was another Runeblade. And we're like, Runeblade has to be their favorite class. Thank God that's changed. And it's like, armories are fun, but there's caveats of that. And then new players, it's like, are you under my wing? Am I beating the crap out of you? Like one of our new players that's been playing for like 7 months, he just top 8'd his, it's more like, he's probably 10 months in. He just top 8'd his first pro quest and he was pretty excited about that on Saturday. And then yesterday, I think Tyler Horsebull rolled him in the mirror match. And then he was sitting next to Tyler the round after and was like talking to him. I was like, hey, Enrique, try not to talk to Tyler, okay? Let him focus. And everyone was like, oh my God, you're the funniest guy alive, Blake. But I
feel like this podcast is just how Blake is so funny, and he's telling us.
No. I'm just trying to set the scene because some
3 or
people
5
haven't been to Odyssey
about that. Yeah,
but yeah, I think that's what armories are to me in my local meta of like, it's not hardcore. Here's one thing I have said in a while. If I don't win once every 5 weeks, I have 10 times to win in those 5 weeks. If I'm going all the time, I like to win once every 5 weeks. And I don't pay attention to it. It's not once a month because sometimes I'm doing a little worse. But once every 5 weeks, I am like, oh, I am good enough at this game. I'm playing a strong enough deck to win a permutation. I'm getting the winner prize from one of these, or back in the day, like it is cool. Sometimes you get a second armory pack if you're in the top 4. So it matters at Odyssey. So maybe there is some mattering there. And I have constantly been winning once every 5 weeks, sometimes more. So that is a like thing I personally do.
I don't even know what just happened.
Constantly winning once every 5 weeks.
I'm just saying, what I'm trying to say is that 1 out of 5 thing has happened for the last like 2 years. Like if I went 3 months with, it would negatively affect my relationship with the game. I would play a better meta deck because I want to win at an armory.
Yeah, I think that's fair though. Like, I think it's fair to like want to win an armory, and like, it's frustrating when you don't, like, you know, for an extended period of time, and you know, that makes sense to me.
I feel like, reflecting on myself, I just talk shit about Levi and Patrick, and they're the best, and I love them a lot. And our armory is very fun, and I mean that wholeheartedly. Here's a fun story, just real quick, to lighthearten my thing, because I'm worried now. When Enigma had her last day, August, huge Enigma player, played Enigma because it was like his last day to play her. and he sat in the same spot, and he's like, "Welcome to the Enigma Zone," he said every time to every player, and he went 0-3, and it was hilarious. And was such a good sport about it, and it was like, that's what we cared about more than who won the armory that night, was like how August did on Enigma on her last night. It was so fun. So
I feel like Enrique did that, right, Blake? And then you just yelled at him for bringing Enigma.
Okay, Colin.
that was the day I was
You're not
there.
there for the other 8 times where I lent him cards and had him under my wing. You were more on the it's fun to make fun of Enrique side, because like that happened once. I think I've told this story 3 times, but like I was like, I'm so excited to play Bolton. Icelander's finally gone, and somebody's like, she actually rotates Friday. Your first round is against Iceland. I was
that's such fucking bullshit. It's like, this happened on yeah, exactly. I was like, you kidding me? This deck is still here. It's Tuesday. The announcement. They're like, oh no, it's Friday. I'm like, go fuck yourself. Zane, what's it like at your armory? I think yours is quite a bit different.
Yeah, San Diego is weird. So similar to Blake, where like there's the areas that you don't go because they're too far, even though they're like still San Diego. That definitely is the case. And we've had like day of the week syndrome where like we can't pick the right day, and then like an armory that we would attend doesn't get attendance because it's at 6:30 on Thursday, and nobody can go 10 miles south at 6:30 on Thursday. And so like what should be 12 people will be like 5. I'm sure this happens in any major city or anywhere with traffic, but the armory scene in San Diego is like actually quite bad as far as like success rate. Like a lot of armories don't fire. The one that most consistently fires is a Tuesday Blitz armory because it's in the center of town. Like it would be, if it was Commoner, if it was LL, it would fire because it's just like where people want to wait out traffic on Tuesday. And the shop is great. We love that shop. Shout out Brew Force. But Blitz is like none of our first choice except for like maybe 1 or 2 people. But we all show up because it's the only thing. It's like the only time we can play during the week without driving like an hour and a half. So there's a couple, there's another armory on the week, like on Sunday. That's not too far, but I rarely play on Sunday. There's like one in Oceanside, which is like an hour away. I don't really go to that one. So it's very like segmented is what I'm trying to say. It's changed a lot. We had a shop that had huge armories that eventually decided to close. And so like we've kind of never really gotten back to that culture. But the players are still here. We're just not going to armory. Like I go to the Tuesday Blitz armory. That's the only one I go to. So I don't get CC reps. Like I played CC in London, obviously, and then I did not play a game of Talishar, a game of TTS, anything until the PQ this last weekend. Like literally no games of CC between that like time, which I think is pretty unusual. But as far as like meta, it's pretty fun. Like Blitz is inherently lighthearted, So like there's the people that play like what they love. Like we have our, Brute player who loves playing Brute. He would go from Rhinar and now he's playing KO. He's like interested in Levia stuff. And then there's a few of us that just play whatever. Like I brought Enigma New Moon a couple weeks ago. I brought Bravo last week. I'll bring Vincent. I'll bring whatever. Enigma New Moon is fun, for the record, but yeah, I don't know. Armories to me are very casual, especially since gem packs. But then like the temperature gets turned up for PQs and RTNs, of course, where it goes from 10 people at Blitz to like 40 plus in SoCal, where like all of the regions coalesce and like you're going to have to play the same few people and what are they all working on together. I heard they're playing this, it's just always an interesting, like unpredictable experience. But yeah, SoCal PQs are very fun because they're very competitive. They're quite big, but it's a familiar group. Like we've all seen each other, whether at AGE events or, the last 20 PQs that we've had every season. But did I answer the questions?
Yeah, that's crazy that there's like a lot of people down in San Diego who play too, and it's like crazy that Blitz is like y'all's main armory.
It's like
night.
it's laughable that we can't get it to work. Like we've tried, like the shop that runs Blitz, like they want to close, at a reasonable hour. Like, that makes perfect sense. But if you start at 6:30, you can't even run 2 rounds if you play CC, and be closed by 8:30 or whatever it is. So
Yeah. I mean, that's why I had to stop going to audit, or not had to, but one of the reasons I stopped going is because like you start at 7 and you play like 4 rounds, and I would be so exhausted, and like literally the next day I'm still tired from that. I was just like, I can't keep up with this. This is like too much to do.
Even on vacation, every time I've gone, I'm like, this is too late.
Yeah,
This is crazy.
Yeah. But shout out to Wildcard Cyclone because they do give good pricing. I was like, oh, I get a gem pack and a pity pack. Like, this is great. I expect nothing going to Odyssey, unfortunately. But it's a great store. They host great events, but they don't really give a shit. It feels like
They're down to 1 bathroom, so they really can't give a shit.
Oh my god.
Wait, really? They had like 4.
Yeah, I can't go back there.
Yeah, one of the bathrooms you have to turn the light, or no, you have to.
Oh yeah.
You have to turn on the hand dryer to
under
get
the hand dryer to turn the light on. Yeah.
It's actually so funny.
This is one of the most comical things. Tight. Yes, you all answered the questions. Great job. All right, so I guess more than, I don't know. Does anybody? I mean, Blake kind of touched on this, and I guess saying it doesn't apply as much because you're just have your lighthearted Blitz, and Taylor, it's the same 5 people. So maybe I don't ask about who you're looking out for, but I'm curious if you do or try to craft your deck to what you expect, and if that ever actually works out, or you just kind of get gemmed up into the not the person you prepped for, and it's just kind of like, I guess really what I'm getting at is like, does it make sense to try to craft your deck to that local meta, or is it just better to try to make something that you think is good and resilient into different situations, and you can get good at?
That's a great question. That's a great question. I feel like in anticipation of this episode coming up, I have tried to think about my meta, and I switched decks so that I could think about it differently. Well, and when I changed my sideboard when Enigma was gone, because I knew August played Enigma. So I was like, oh, great. I don't have to have any of these cards in here for Marionette, because I won't have to play them. And then lo and behold, that comes in effect on Friday. So Tuesday, I still had to play Enigma.
You went into the Enigma zone.
I went into the Enigma zone, but as we know, our hero came out on top in that scenario. So we always would have basically Enigma and Aurora at every armory, and so you kind of had to be prepared for that. But then the being of chaos, Levi, you never know what that guy's gonna do, so you have to also have I just need something broadly applicable, which I'm tired of, and that's why I have brought Bento Box now. And Patrick is also unpredictable. Sometimes he'll just be like, I don't know, I just wanted to play Vincent today. Or sometimes he'll be like, I just want to play the meta deck. He's like, all of a sudden shows up with Zen. He's like, this is my last chance to play Zen. Zen's so awesome. All of a sudden he's like, I don't know, I'm playing Fi now. I'm like, okay. So You know, that's just what happens. So I've also, like, last Sunday, I was like, I brought both of my decks, and I was like, okay, Patrick, we're paired into each other last round. Verdance and Defy is unwinnable because we played this yesterday 4 times in a row, and there was no way I was going to win. How about I concede and I'll just play Marionette? And then I won. And I told him afterwards, I was like, I think there's some solace in the fact that I had to pick a whole different hero to beat you. So I hope you feel good about that. I don't know if that answers the question. Go ahead, Blake.
I think that's something that I would wonder, how important is the armory experience in LSS's mind? Sorry, too many acronyms. LSS's mind. Is armory a first priority? Is it, well, we're hoping all the stuff we implement makes it good. I know even in the BNR today, it was like, at the local levels, it's been pretty hard to beat CYB, and we don't want them to be stressed out. I know there's Round the Table. There was Dorinthia versus Rhinar boxes. There's Blitz decks. Like, I'm wondering if, what do you guys think? Is it a large priority for LSS to make armories better? Because we have the, what are they called? Gym packs. Gym packs feel like we have made armories easier for people to go home after going home after 2 rounds instead of staying and playing for 4. Oh, I played a couple games of Fab. I didn't really win. I'm going to leave. And usually that happens at bigger tournaments like O2 drop. There's no point in playing the rest of these. But I'm asking a lot of questions, but I'm kind of saying it's weird to me that some people are choosing not to play 4 games of Fab when back in the day we were like, yes, we're locked into 4 games of Fab. Do you think that's just as you progress through your hobbies, you don't need as many reps and as many games to have fun? Or do you think that's been a side effect of gym, of like, why would I stay around? I've got my gym pack already. There's nothing for first place. And I want to go to Chick-fil-A and it's closing in 20 minutes.
It's a good question. I'll let Zane answer it first.
I think we kind of talked about it with Odyssey, right? Or like just 4 rounds of CC is a lot of time.
4 hours minimum.
Minimum, right? And that's
they don't time those rounds either.
I was going to say that's excluding like stores being
It's
a little
7
loose.
to 10:45 for sure.
Yeah. So like, you know, back in the day when it was Tales of Aria and everything, like everything was new, it's not surprising that people wanted to stay there and play. There was less going on in the world. People were working from home. You know, obviously this doesn't apply to everyone, and the game was, you know, we didn't have Talishar. The game was harder to come by. So it doesn't surprise me that people used to play 4, and now that the game has matured a bit, you know, they said, maybe I want to get dinner after 2. That's not surprising. I mean, if that's when gem packs are given out or, you know, whatever, then that kind of creates that culture a bit too. Like Blitz is 3 rounds, sometimes 4, if like we really have a lot of people, and they don't give out gem packs till the end. And like the bitter end, like every single game has to be done. And so people don't leave early. So it could just kind of be like how the store does it. But I don't think it's a bad thing that people show up for half the rounds. Like, you know, you get the community aspect still. You see your friends, you play some games, but then you have to commute to work tomorrow now because our corporate overlord said so.
I mean, I think Armory should be the place where you get to have the most fun, and it should be social. You know what I mean? Like sometimes we say that there's too many people in this card shop. Let's just go to the bar across the street and we'll just play there. And fucking who cares? You know what I mean? Because it's like that would be more fun. Or me and Patrick the other day, instead of playing the 3rd round, we just wanted to play each other again. So we both dropped and then just played each other again, you know? So like what we do at ours a lot of times is just do what is more fun. But we basically do play all of our games most of the time. But
So
And
what
that's
if somebody was like, "Oh, I hope I play Taylor next round," and you're like, "I'm dropping. I want to play my real friend." Do you think they'd be
well,
like,
if
"What the
somebody voiced that to me, I would be like, oh, okay, well, we'll
Oh, okay.
see what happens. You know what I
heck?"
mean?
Just making sure.
Or I would be like, all right, well, whoever you're going to play, just concede and we'll just play each other. You know what I mean? Like, because it doesn't matter. For us, wins is not a thing. Like, the only thing any of the stores are doing for, like, the winner is giving an extra gym pack, maybe, you know? So it doesn't really matter.
Things are not getting walk.
Yeah. So I don't know. I really like our scene because it's very, very fun. I feel like it's fun, even though I did yell at Patrick the other day, or didn't yell at him, but I was like Blake level salty after a loss, you know.
We've all
And
been there.
I apologize to him.
You've heard of ALS? Here's BLS, bro.
He's got bits.
Nice. All right, then I guess kind of the last thing, curious about like any big what are like the biggest changes since Aurora has left? I guess now we're gonna see more changes now with all these bans, and what do you all see with High Seas coming out? Do you have the people that always want to play the newest deck? And are you just gonna walk into 30 Gravanial Bones games on your first armory?
God, that's such a better name, Gravanial Bones.
I mean, I don't know.
I'm here for
Yeah,
at least another 5 years. I think there are the people who are like, of course, I'm excited. I have Valda ready to go. And Valda's not even going to have a bunch of stuff until August, but I think she's going to be a hard counter to draw a bunch of arrows Marlin. And so it's like, can you deal with this Spinal Crush and Pummel? And like, I think there's a reason why she's ready to go right when they're ready to go. I think there's going to be a skeleton crew of Gravanial Bones who like, is your deck good into it? And now you need to go, like, Midas touches are going to be $35. You have to run 3 of them if you're going to beat Evan. But, oh, no, Evan's playing Marlin because he's already got Lexi. He's been excited for Marlin for 3 months already. There's a board state player named Zach Wallach who's going to be a pain in the ass to play against for Gravy Bones for the rest of my life, as long as that's going. And they're going to bling out their decks and spend $3,000 on it. You're going to go, that's cool. And I'm just gonna be there with Kasai and being like, okay, I killed the Scooby-Doo. What do I feel like? Okay, I'll send this one at you. And they'll be like, block with a D-react. Or I'm gonna ignore the Whaler guy because I can't get to 7. And then the Whaler's gonna do 11 to me, and I'm gonna go, man, Brian Gottlieb just did it again, guys. So I think there is I'm excited to see some mech people play mech. There's some dedicated mech players in both of these Tuesdays and Thursday night, where if they are like, Puffin is way better. Look at these cogs. I just did the spaceship on top of your head and took your shit. I'm gonna be like, good for you. Because I hope people would go, Reinar got the busted bloodlust kill switch. I'm happy for Blake finally. I can't go, oh, I'm tired of losing a mech already on like week 1. I know I'm going to do that for Marlin's bitch ass because it's just Lexi all over again. If you're doing the 3 of a kind, shoot 6 arrows. If I shoot 6 arrows and you have 4 cards to block and all of them are breakpoints, how much damage did you take? Oh, wait, they all had text on them too? Are you having fun? This deck's so fun. So yeah, I think I am looking forward to a few things in this, but ultimately, like, if Valda is a counter to Pirates because you just give her a bunch of seismics, that's going to be fun too. Of like, I can play aggro Guardian as long as New's not around. It's going to be like, which New? Okay, there's 2 News here, but 7 new Pirate heroes. I'm going to play Valda and hope I don't fight the News.
New and Volda will never overlap. New is not long for this world.
We
She's
hope.
gonna be gone before Nats.
Before Volda.
Volda comes June 6th, bro.
Is that true?
Yeah. You're going to see her in Vegas. Somebody's going to be playing that new stuff. And you're going to be like, oh, I'm playing new. This is free.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah. If she plays Draw a Crowd, you're going to be able to do it. She can play Draw a Crowd, Promising Terrain, Batter to a Pulp, and her hero. Are all June 6th.
Yeah. New will not overlap with Guardian Mastery Pack, is what I
Correct.
thought. Which, yeah.
I agree.
The way I will answer this question is in 2 small paragraphs. One, there's a Venn diagram of where me and Patrick play similar decks, and then Patrick and Levi both play Mechanologist, and then Levi and me both play Assassin. So there's going to be this moment, and Levi loves Ranger also, specifically Riptide, where Levi will be playing Marlin, and Patrick will be playing a new Mechanologist, and August, who has been yelling at armories recently, Gravy Bones! He's going to be playing Gravy Bones, and then I'm just going to be doing whatever I'm doing. So it's going to be a full-on high seas action over in coastal northern California in the North Seas. So there you go. One other thing I'll say about my meta is I love that new player Nathan picked up Aurora. That was his gal. She LL'd. He was like, cool. This is perfect. It's because I've learned this deck now. She's gone. And it forces me to learn a new hero. And he's just playing Acilio. And so now that's like a thing. That is like the time clock is ticking for him to like learn how to play that deck in all of its intricacies. And then you'll have to be like actually prepared for it. So I look forward to that day. So there you go. High seas in Humboldt County. Yar.
Gravy Bone.
Like yelling it in the store, and there's only 5 of us. And you're sitting right next to him.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like
we got some people like that.
It's like Delatore for sure. For sure. August wants to make a custom flag also for Gravy Bones. He's all in.
Take no quarter. Is that what it's called?
That sounds
yes.
right.
Draw no quarter? Or...
Draw no quarter. I want to say take no quarter every time.
Which is weird because it doesn't draw a card. And every other word that says draw is like draw swords, draw
It's
cards.
give no quarter.
We both let's go. Elysis has my and then I think there's at least 3 pirate mechanologists like Majestics that haven't come out yet. Like that we didn't talk about any spoilers yet, by the way.
That doesn't matter.
Fuck
That's fine.
spoilers.
That's because they didn't give us a goddamn spoiler. So I'm talking about them.
Yeah. Fuck.
No. They definitely had a reason why they would rather have 10 slot cards be random pictures on people's phones than videos from content creators. It's all part of the plan.
You know, whatever. I'll never forget Mark Ruffalo. Oh, look at that good stretch from Hilda.
Dude, I'm telling you, watch this podcast.
Dog watch.
It's so good. I've been secretly watching her this whole time, and every time she moves, I'm like, oh my god, she's so cute. I love her so much.
Who's Hilda's favorite Paw Patrol character?
Not the cop one, that's for sure.
There's an artist in Paw Patrol. Yeah, right. They're all cops.
Fuck the police.
I think you said that in 16 episodes over the last year.
That's so funny. That's the thing. You guys are like, whoa. And I didn't say like a sex thing. So, Colin, you get this one.
Thanks.
Yeah.
For both those things. All right. Well, thank you. I think that kind of that kind of covers it. Local metas are weird. They are unexpected. I feel like everyone needs at least one agent of chaos who's going to show up, and you're just going to be like, I don't know what they're going to do. And, it's just a great cast of characters. I think, honestly, it is the thing I've taken the most out of this game is like the community that you get from going to just whatever local place you can and befriending the people there is pretty special. It's a pretty cool thing that is part and built into how this type of game works.
Totally. There's so many of these like little jokes and things like Nathan is habitually like plays a card and it turns into a half pipe as he plays it down, So it's like you don't let him borrow your cards, or then he's got hot hands too, and he'll pull something really great out of a pack, and you're like, holy shit, that's crazy. That's like worth $200. And he's like, oh, really? And then you're like, put it in a fucking sleeve right now, Or
He just bends it in half.
Yeah, totally. Like he traded something with somebody the other day, and it's like an $80 card he just had unsleeved in his pocket that he just fucking pulled out and traded with somebody. Like, so anytime he like has something expensive, you're like, whoa, So
Here,
yeah,
take this
yeah,
top
this
loader.
hard shell. Yeah.
Jesus, that's great. Dope. Yeah. Well, excited to see the new meta that we're sailing into.
Hey,
and we'll see how it goes. But it's a whole new world out there in Flesh and Blood meta land.
I'm excited to see these new heroes, these decks built, and like what it looks like. Because for some reason, it like it's not working in my brain. I'm like, how is any of this going to be good? Or whatever. I just can't figure it out. Maybe it's
I don't know
because
how Puffin's going to work at all. I have no clue.
Yeah,
Dane said she's good.
I think she's cool.
I mean, she's freaking busted. Okay. Same
playing
downplays
Harlan.
everything. He was like, return fire? I don't see it, bro. You're like, okay.
Okay, that was like 3 hours in the Discord. We don't need to rehash right now at 2 hour podcast.
I can refocus for the final thought of the day, if you guys want.
Yeah, we would love that.
Just say we did return fire. Here's a parting shot, maybe.
Hey, this guy's got
LSS. If you haven't made a brute, warrior, or mechanologist that has LL'd in the first 5 years of your game, maybe it's time to change your design philosophy for those classes.
Gauntlet has been thrown. Yeah, I'm glad you really tied it back to what we were talking about.
I was just rolling around in my head. I was like,
Anyways, keep those Rangers coming, huh?
Yeah. Anyways,
we
here's
need
fucking
another
Rune
Rune
Blade.
No way. All assassins set. Let's go. Every attack's a dagger.
Rune
Every
Blade,
hero's a
Assassin, and
dagger.
Guardian.
Everything has
Every
spell.
hero's a dagger. You're a dagger.
You're a dagger. I got a fucking dagger right here.
Daggers on my finger.
Should I get that tattooed? Daggers.
Taylor just pulling out knives continuously.
We should have just re-spoiled Hunter's Clave again, acting like we got a spoiler.
Dude, we already did that.
Shout out Scapolo.
We made a Frozen token and acted like we had a spoiler.
That's
It
true.
worked. People watched it. It was fun.
It was a great skit. It was funny as shit.
It was pretty expensive joke.
The other thing that I'm seeing on Twitter too is there's some people in the community that are paid by LSS trying to be like, guys, it's not that bad. Come on. And you're like, we're not getting paid by LSS like you guys are. Maybe we would have different opinions on this because we don't have to be like the parent company is amazing,
Yeah, let me see their bias and ethics statement on their website of
because Mansant was fully like why are you always so pissed online? And you're like, we're not getting thousands of dollars to travel the world and do this. So we think a little bit differently.
It's like hundreds. Yeah.
Oh yeah. By the time we buys all that ramen too. We're not affiliated with Blake and E.
Yeah. Our ethics policy just says we're not responsible for anything Blake says.
Yeah.
But we do support it. So
Also, we've trademarked BLS now too.
yeah.
Mm.
Blake Light Sentinel.
Blake level of salty.
Oh, my bad.
We should make that card. All right, let's send it over to
maybe
that other
I'll
podcast.
have a Final Destination level death,
Pitch it
and
to me,
LSS
podcast.
will memorialize me in a slot card, and then
It'll-
all the brutes cannot play that one for another
then
2
ban
years.
It'll
you
be
from the game.
skull crushers, but it's just you getting crushed.
Wow.
and it'll have a new
crazy,
keyword
Zane.
that says banned. You can't play this card in any format.
I think Skull Crushers was like the most disappointed with a card I'd ever been at the time, because I was like a full-on brute player at the time. Like, we need brute arms, and then we were like, we're getting brute arms, and then they were just like actually not better than Iron Rot gauntlets, and I was like, are you kidding me?
But they could sometimes give you more than 2 value if you're lucky and your opponent hasn't attacked you in 3 turns.
Yeah,
That's true. If you're lucky.
It's pretty good.
no, it's not. Don't.
That
Come
hasn't
on,
been played
you-
in 3 years.
You make a might. You make a might. You block.
No, that's a different one. That's a different one.
gloves. Apex
Apex
Bone
Bone
Breakers.
Oh, that's Apex.
Crazy.
Right. Those are
Yeah.
crazy.
This
You're
is a
right.
forgotten card you
Skull
have.
Crushers is bad. It's kind of like Bone Vizier.
The Bone Vizier's based. It's I have it right there. You can't
Yeah.
tell.
Gold foil.
On my
Yeah.
Reinar shelf.
There's Reinar. That's Reinar. It's signed by Wisnu, and that's Bone Vizier, the shrine.
Hell yeah.
The memorial.
Well,
Great job, everybody.
on that note, we all thank you very much for listening and hope that you open as many gold foil bone viziers as you wish.
Speaking of, quick question, gold foils. I have a vest of the First Fist. Should I put the gold foil in my bento box?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you have to double sleeve the whole bento box.
I mean,
though.
you don't shuffle the equipment ever, do you?
You do.
You do.
Just put a regular one in, and then whenever you pick it, say, and if you get the vested at First Fish, you get to use the gold foil.
No, I think it's cooler if it's just in there. Okay. Anyway, thanks, Colin, for the sign off. Thanks, everybody. We're out of here.
Goodbye. Remove this from my face.